Time and time again, the region's Archon character stories easily overshadowed the other stories in the lineup, and Nahida's Chapter 2 Archon Quest story easily took the top spot as one of the best in-game by a mile, and it's outstanding how much this quest revealed in lore, story, made for an amazing story with a lot of great cinematics. It's really incredible how far the devs have come in storytelling in their game. The major highlights in the beginning has to be the lore. The major highlight in the beginning has to be the lore drop of the dragons and the history of Teyvat. How the dragons were the original rulers of Teyvat's regions. How the nail that we can find in various places in Teyvat actually have the ability to purify powers that shouldn't exist in Teyvat, which means the Abyss, and how it was key in saving Teyvat in the past. The Heavenly Principles seem to point to any faction or group that didn't originally come from Teyvat itself, like how the Sustainer is very much hinted at and the faction of the Heavenly Principles of today, and how the Primordial One Faunus, the god who came after or took over Teyvat after the Dragon Sovereigns. The Dragon Sovereigns were the first rulers of the nations within Teyvat, like Sumeru, Mondstadt, Liyue before the Archons. But after the Primordial One came, named Faunus and his Shades, who overthrew the dragons and became the next rulers of Teyvat. They later lost it to the current Heavenly Principles and supposedly the Sustainer. This may point to how the Heavenly Principles and the Primordial One are considered Heavenly Principles because they don't come from Teyvat itself. The main story surrounds these fungus, who come from one of the dragons called Apep, and she's massive compared to the Valen, and the fungi in these quests are special. They can change their shape and return to the world after their death, and the ending scene and the fight with the fungi was incredible. Some of the cinematography in the cinematics was Genshin at its best. The camera movements in the opening and in the chasm were great, but the shot of the giant dragon Apep in the cutscene was both terrifying and amazing, making her the biggest dragon to date. That cinema shot of Apep facing the Traveler and the others gave the title of Dragon Sovereign the amount of respect it demanded. This story quest really highlighted the very curious and kind nature that Nahida has shouldered since her debut and is in full display. From being very interested and trying and becoming a full fungi in the quest, to be more than willing to sacrifice her own life to save Apep. This quest really showed her growth and character. The quest even further expanded on Deshret and the Goddess of Flowers, naming both characters similar to how Burr is named Nahida. Some things that made me interested about this quest was how this piece of lore about the dragons is only being brought in now, when the first mention of a lot of these lore bits was during 3.4 or was it 3.5, but it was about a year ago. For lore that seemed in many respects to be a major part of Teyvat's history, but only got a slight mention during its release. This may hint at how the story may start to delve into the history of Teyvat in the Fontaine chapters, and we still haven't seen this money shot happen in the story yet. The story after this point is gonna be pretty exciting, with so many ways the story can change and evolve. This story did a lot, maybe too much in fact, but it was still able to balance so many things at once, and I'm impressed by just how much this quest made Nahida shine without being overshadowed by the many lore bombs, and there is many, still made her, in my opinion, still the reigning champion for people's favorite Archon, and for very good reasons. This was such a good Archon quest. Well, I think we learned enough today, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.